Yeah. What's good, y'all? Welcome to another episode of Real Talk, where, as always, it's shit's real. We talk about it. I'm your host for tonight, Pat Scorpion, New England representative. As always, I got my man with me. I'm going to let him introduce himself.
Yo, what it do? It's your boy Shutter. No, it's not. It's Pilot. Conscious Pot, the West Coast Avenger. Hoping history gets made this week. We'll talk about it, but we're here. Ring and Radio. Let's fly.
Yes, sir. Ring in the house forever and always. And as always, I got my other man with me. I'm going to let him introduce himself.
Yo, what's good? It's Roman Doomsday Top 5. You already know what the fuck going on in this bitch. Shot Town. We in the building. Southside. Stand up. Dub ass.
Yes,
Let's
sir.
go.
Rome top 5 in the building. Yes, sir. And as he's saying that, though, Caleb Williams got sacked, really fucking sacked by Hargrave. Shout out to Hargrave. Salute. That's an OG right there. Like, bam. He wasn't fucking around. Football, obviously everyone, hopefully, Rome was from Chi. Yes, he's absolutely from Chi. But now he lives in Florida. But hopefully everyone has been enjoying the first NFL Sunday, Thursday games, Friday games, Sunday's game, and then Monday night's game. So. It's been an interesting week of football, and who knows? We may even do a show just going on week one, just make some couple of hot takes and shit like that, because there's plenty of hot takes to talk about from week one for sure. But man. Now finally though, we're in a fight week, and actually it's actually a loaded fight week, and we'll get more into that too. But I know Pilot. There were a couple fights. There was one fight in particular though that ended up actually being fight of the year.
I mean, I'd say top 10, right? It definitely exceeded expectations.
Yeah, it definitely did. And you've heard me talk about before. I've always said too, like, for all the flack that Eddie Hearn gets, one thing that he gets right, and it's weird that he's consistent with this, is his Mexican cards, his Metro Mexico cards. Like those cards, it's like day and night. Like the cards he does in America or he does in the UK. The UK ones, they've regressed horribly for different reasons.
Yeah,
America is hit and miss. But for some reason, whenever he holds a card in Mexico, everyone there is like fucking slugging it out like it's nobody's fucking business. And then one of those fights was Eduardo Nunes and Christopher Tufo Diaz. And I wasn't really high in that fight because largely Diaz, he's had like 3 title shots. He's come up short, and he hasn't really done anything to even get this title shot. But I was pleasantly surprised on how competitive this shit was. Too competitive, actually.
Yeah. So, do you think it's an indictment on Sugar Nunes? I mean, given that Navarrete stopped, if I'm not mistaken, I think Navarrete stopped Diaz.
Yeah, no, but Navarrete though he's not in the last one, but he had his hands full with Diaz.
Oh yeah, no, for sure. But Shakur 12-0 him. So I'm just saying, is it because people talk about Sugar Nunes like he's supposed to be this knockout artist? I saw the fight in Japan. He didn't knock that dude out. He was struggling a little bit. He won.
Yeah, he beat dude's ass, and then the Rakhma fight was a fight of the year, and he stopped
the Rakhma fight. Yeah, but my thing is, I think the Sugar Nunes, I'm not super high on him. He is a fun fighter to watch. I think he only knocks out Canada. Like he's supposed to be a knockout guy and all this, but he hasn't really. I don't know. I know he got Rakhmonov out of there, but he's not really. I like him. I mean, I like to see some matchups with him at 130 against Ford. You know what I'm saying? Or even a Navarrete fight, unification.
I mean, at first credit, Diaz is a tough guy. He's Diaz,
and I think Diaz brought it. I think I know he got dropped twice, and that was kind of, even though if you watched the first round, Nunes might have got dropped. They didn't call that shit.
Yeah, no, they didn't call that shit for anything though. But in the last 2 rounds, though, Nunes was getting some hands put on him. Like Diaz cut him. Diaz was at times was knocking him around the ring.
Yeah, Diaz was. I mean, I think Diaz, knew. This is my 3rd time at titles, probably my last time to have a title shot, So he tried his hardest. I'll give him that. He definitely tried his hardest to win.
Yeah, because Nunes was like reeling, like at the end of the bell. Usually Nunes is like, I mean, he's only been in distance like maybe a handful of times, but this fight, dude was just like he was cut, he was bleeding, he was reeling, like he looked like he was ready to go. You know what I mean? So but like I said, it was just such an evenly paced fight. And again, the judges did this fight a disservice with some of them scores that were read because, it was like at the best, the score to me was like 115, 111. that was the score. Some of the scores that were being read were just awful to me, and not really like it didn't really show what that fight really truly was.
What was the worst score you seen on that shit?
Oh man, hold up. Let me.
I think like was it 116, 109 or something like that? Something like that. Because he got dropped twice.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. That's why I said it was one for Mexico's. Let's see. No, yeah, the 117, 109 shits. Yeah, that wasn't the fight. Yeah, there was two of those. And then the other one was 116, 110, which was but 117, 109 wasn't really the score of that fight to me. Yeah, Diaz, he won some rounds. Like he won more than that. But like I said, if there's a fight that I had to say, hey, go ahead and go watch, catch that fight. Like they and the funny thing too is like the Mexican cards too. Like Mexico was like that crowd was like loud, and like I said, this is something that's not really known for Eddie's cards lately. But they were just like amped, like the energy was there and everything like that, and they produced.
Did you watch the fight before? Did you watch that Guevara fight?
Was that?
Did you watch the fight before that or no? I'm just wondering if you saw that one. It was the fight against Guevara where the guy that Bam stopped in the title defense, but there was a draw. That was a draw.
I did not see that fight.
It was pretty competitive, but it was a draw. They're probably running back or something.
For some reason, I missed that fight because I think I stepped out for a minute to go pick up something.
Did you watch it live? Because I live tweet off the account. Did you watch that live or you watched it back?
No, I watched it live, but I did step out for a minute. I think I stepped out, so that's the reason why. But I saw the earlier fights too, and like I said, the energy was crazy. Like like they were like all the fights were good. They were watchable. Like there was no bullshit going on, except for maybe some of the judging. But Nunes though. Now, fun things too is because after that, I saw Ray Ford was talking about this dude is like a piece of cake or whatever, and then Navarrete was there looking like he just ate like how many different dinners and shit. Like motherfucker looks like he's 200 easy.
He was looking at least one. He was looking 180 at least. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, he was bloated in his face, and he was talking about what the. Yeah, I was like, God damn! Like you're supposed to be a fighter. This is the problem. This is why you're having all these up and down performances because. You're out there looking like, you're out there eating or whatever the fuck you want. You're not training, So yeah, but I mean, hey, I'm all for it. If Ray Ford gets the shot or Navarrete gets it for unification, I'm all for it though. But yeah, like Nunes, to me, Nunes is a fun fighter, but he is flawed. You know what I'm saying though. But at 130, he can kind of hide behind that a little bit because at 130, unifications don't really like go like that. And sometimes it takes them, it takes them a while for like a high level fight to really produce among the champions. So, but Diaz though, like I said though, Diaz he put out a valiant effort. Like you said before, he was like, oh, this is gonna be my last shot, and okay, I need to kind of put in this extra effort. So yeah, kudos to him though. Like I'm like. Because dude, he tried his best though, and he had Nunes reeling. So he made Nunes more mortal than most fighters have. So definitely kudos for that. So that was definitely a good fucking that was a good card. Like I was impressed by that. But I know probably you wanted to mention it, and that was definitely worth the mention. You had to go, you had to shut that out real quick. And I see from our comments, everyone is really wants to talk about the Crawford card, and so let's get into that. I know boxing has been very kind of quiet with the super fights and everything like that, but by far this is good. This is the biggest fight of the year, like for better or for worse. And I know usually Shuttleworth would be on here, but Shuttleworth has a little bit of an emergency. He may come on a little later. Because if you saw his tweet, if you follow his Twitter, he really wanted to hit shit on this card and in this fight. He, if obviously if you heard our various episodes on this where we talked about this, he's not a big fan of this fight at all. I'm indifferent to this fight. I'm indifferent to it. It's not, and largely it's because we get bullshit like the Jake Paul fights and shit like that, or we fights that, bullshit that's kind of get pushed more than any other legitimate boxing fight. And yes, I say legitimate fight because them Jake Paul fights ain't on the level, and I stand by that bullshit. You know what I mean? But no, so Pilot, I mean, how first of all, what's your overall feeling about the Crawford fight? Pilot.
I hated it. I mean, I initially did hate it because I did hear Crawford say he didn't really even want to do it. A couple of years ago after he was doing his Shutter hates that whole his victory lap, right? And
Yeah.
the Joe Rogan all the podcasters, celebrating his victory, But ultimately, damn touchdown. Okay. Ultimately, though, Bud. I know Bud knows about the money, so he ended up taking it. So I'm with it. I mean, as you know, I'm a Bud fan. I know you rock with Crawford too, so I'm indifferent with it. I mean, would rather see different fights, yes, but I'm not going to complain about it because it's still a pretty big fight, and it is two of the top, 4 or 5 pound for pound fighters of the past decade and change. So I ain't complaining.
Absolutely, Rome. What about you? What's your feeling about Crawford and Canelo?
Yeah, I think Canelo's gonna beat his ass, nigga. You jumping up in weight, you're gonna get your ass beat. You can't fight with the big dogs. Like the nigga's supposed to be what, 40 pounds less? Like, come on now.
No, but even before that, like, I mean, like just your overall feel, like, I mean, the fight itself, like, regardless of result or anything like that. Are you indifferent about this fight? Did you like the fight, hate the fight when it was announced?
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. It don't make sense to fight a nigga, smaller than you like this, to make a nigga jump up to try to fight you. Like, I feel like this is a cash grab, and this is another Jake Paul scheme to get money and have all eyes on you real quick. Both these niggas are about to retire after this. Watch. I
No,
promise you.
probably not Canelo, but I think Bud retires either way.
Yeah, and I definitely get the cash grab feeling because I mean we all know the Crawford's history. Like Top Rank for the most part openly admitted that they lost money on Crawford during his tenure at Top Rank, and I mean Crawford got paid. Yeah, certainly he got paid. Like he wasn't underpaid, but he wasn't paid, like say, on the level of some of the other pound for pound fighters out there. I mean, of course, that changed with the Spence fight. Spence fight, I think he got like 25 million. And then after that, he linked with Turkey because Turkey happens to be a big fan of his. And pretty much, he's been stacking. Turkey's pretty much been taking care of him more than any other promoter that, obviously in his history and stuff like that. And you can tell Crawford is content. And since the Spence fight, he's only fought once, which is the Madrimov fight, which was last August. And Crawford won, but he was not as dominant as he had been over the last.
I mean, he had 11 straight. He was an 11 straight knockout. Like he went to welterweight, 100% KO ratio, 11 straight knockouts, maybe 12 straight knockouts. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, and unified all 4 belts, and then he goes to Madrimov. And like, look for me, I'm high on Madrimov, so it's not like it's not a bad thing he struggled with Madrimov, but he had to kind of he had to rally in the last couple of rounds in order not to lose.
He had to dig deep in the championship rounds for sure.
Yeah. And then Madrimov, of course, herky jerky type of style of fighting, and on top of the fact that Madrimov was able to land punches on Crawford that most people don't necessarily land. Crawford got touched up a little bit. He didn't look good. But unfortunately, since that fight, Crawford has not been in the ring. He's been inactive. And then we have Canelo, who hasn't gotten a knockout since 2021 when he knocked out Caleb Plant, and has been going the distance with some horrible competition. No, Charlo is one thing. Jamal Charlo is not horrible competition. It was just, I think he was just super motivated for that one because everyone was writing him off because he had the poor Triple G fight. He looked really poor in that one. And then the John Ryder fight went the distance, which it probably shouldn't have.
That was crazy. The Ryder fight was crazy. I mean, I know he dropped Ryder twice, maybe have retired Ryder, but It's fucking John Ryder. I'm sorry. I'm just saying. Like,
yeah, and right, because I just read an article this past week on Ryder talking about after that. Ryder says after that fight, like he was finished.
I saw that. Yeah, I saw. I didn't read it, but I did see that headline. I saw that article.
Yeah, yeah, and then Charles, and then fun things too, because I mean, I was rooting for Mel to win, because I mean Mel, because pretty much it had Mel beaten Canelo, he would have been a double undisputed champion at the same time. He would arguably be the number one fighter in the sport. That like the history was there, and he put on, and unfortunately Mel only looked at the money that day and really disappointed me. And then after that, he fought Munguia, which again I didn't have a problem with Munguia like that, but going the distance with Berlanga was unacceptable. Like there was no reason for that.
See, so some felt he carried Munguia, and I can maybe see that. I'm not saying he did that. I can see maybe him doing that Mexico type of thing. The Berlanga though, he was trying to get Berlanga out of there. He was definitely trying to get Berlanga out of there. And
that's the thing. Like he was struggling, and like he knocked Berlanga down though. But the fact was he didn't whoop Berlanga's ass enough. Because Berlanga was, he went on a celebration fucking tour all over Puerto Rico and shit like that, and and it lasted until this past summer, where where finally someone got some sense someone knocked some sense into him,
and now he's probably a rapper.
Yeah, now he's a rapper right now. And then Canelo last fight he fought Skull in one of the worst fucking fights I've seen. Like it was just a really, really bad weekend. It was part of a really bad weekend of fights. Ugh. If it wasn't for Monster, that might have been like the worst straight like Friday, Saturday, Sunday cards I would have ever seen. If it wasn't for that top ranked card getting shit together. Yeah, and that Skull fight, like Canelo couldn't even be bothered to even cut off the ring on dude. Because Skull came to spoil, and Canelo was just like, "Look here, motherfucker, I'm not gonna chase you like that. I'm gonna hit you a little bit or whatever, and they're gonna give me the decision in your belt. So you better fight." So we have that bullshit. So it's because of performances like that, and then also too, and I know people are mentioning it in the chat. Yeah, Crawford definitely bulked up. Like Crawford is definitely, people was like, no, he's on PEDs. Oh, he's on that snack.
Yeah, that's funny that you're saying that when Canelo's the one that fucking popped. Like, fuck out of here. That's annoying.
Yeah, no, Canelo. Crawford has never. See, there's a difference. Crawford has never physically has actually shown signs of roiding, whereas Canelo, even before he popped dirty, there was something off about that dude.
Yeah, man. They talk about it. Oh, it was the steak, whatever. But I will say, you mentioned earlier, Pat, about him not fighting, and I think they did that for a reason. I think they wanted to bulk up, take up that whole time. Because if they imagine if they took a fight with Derevchenko or they took a fight with somebody, right? He'd have to cut weight, and all that. I think scientifically speaking, they probably did that for a reason. The whole the way he bulked, because there's a whole thing about the quote unquote catfish of him looking like. The picture 3 days ago, which I felt was like from like 3 months ago, but they're acting like it was a new picture. You know what I'm saying? Where he was looking kind of pudgy. Have you seen that?
Yeah, I saw that one. Yeah. No, what like the picture that he posted? That's a dude. Like that dude probably did cut. Like he flexed. Like people have to understand the difference between a gym picture and a relaxed picture.
But I think the picture with the UFC guy is from May. And I just there's been waves of like how he's been looking, where like he's looking kind of fat, looking kind of buff, looking really buffs. And I think that is the way they're doing it scientifically. I mean, Bomac, Crawford, them, the whole team, Red, they have a whole science behind it, right? Like that, Crawford's been a world-class fighter for over a decade. So
yeah, Crawford has always been a professional. Like, I mean, this is a dude. This is a guy that used to go. That used to wrap himself up in like towels and shit like that just to make 135. Like, and how he made 135 with his frame is insane. So, Crawford has always been a professional with his weight. Like, because usually people have a certain look when you start taking stuff. Canelo has that look. Crawford has not had that look. Like he's looked like just a regular ass dude, like who's just at the the top 1% of his physique, for his age. But with that though, he's 37 years old. He's 37, 30. No, he's 37.
I think he might turn 38. He turns 38 pretty soon too, like in
Yeah,
November.
he turns 38 very soon.
Yeah.
So it's so I mean, like, and Crawford hasn't really shown a slippage, because usually there's at least a fight in there, and maybe if he had fought more, if he had taken a fight between this one and the Madrimov fight, we'd probably be able to gauge if he was truly slipping, but we don't know. Like I said, he's had time. He's had a year. He's had 15 months to kind of get his body into condition, into the type of condition, because he is going to be fighting. I mean, it's an activity. It's age. He has wear and tear on his body. Like because I think, if I'm not mistaken, he did have a little surgery after the Madrimov fight. So there's a lot of different factors. So there's just a lot of question marks with terms of Crawford's conditioning and stuff like that. And then, of course, as you mentioned before, or as Rome mentioned before, he's going up in weight. He's going up 2 divisions. Like, obviously we saw it with Jermell Charlo, and unlike Crawford, Jermell Charlo did not take his conditioning seriously.
He did look, and Mel did look. Let's be real. Mel had a little tummy. He didn't look really fit, if you noticed.
No,
right?
he did, and he didn't train like he wanted. He wanted, like, because in that thing, like, they showed him like hanging with his family.
Yeah, he was talking with his family and shit. Yeah,
bro, he already got like 50% of his money. He was straight.
He looked round. He looked round in the tummy. You know what I'm saying? Like, fight night. You know what I'm saying? You could see. He looked a little chunky.
Yeah.
And I don't know.
Dude. Once Dude felt Canelo's power, he's like, okay, look, I'm a good defensive fighter. Yeah, I can fight to a degree where I won't get knocked out. And yeah, that was that.
And I wish P was here, because he wanted to drop some bars on what I said about the lazy comparison of Jermell Charlo and Bud Crawford. Because on the surface level, I get it. They're both one. Well, Crawford was a big lightweight. But they're obviously 154, moved up 2 weight classes. But I'm never comparing Bud Crawford to a guy. Now, Mel's a Hall of Famer, probably one of the top 10 154 pounders of all time. Just first undisputed ever. But he lost to Tony Harrison and should have lost to Castano. He ain't no Terrence Crawford. I'm sorry. And respectfully, I'm saying that.
Yeah, no, and I agree with you. And let's say, but that doesn't denigrate what Mel accomplished at 154. Mel was competitive in like 2 or 3 different eras of 154. Like, he has names on his record. Like, he's like this generation's version of Terry Norris at 154. Like, he's putting in work at that weight, and that's why I say before, like, if people want to say that he's Hall of Fame, I have no problem with that at all, because he's put in a lot of work at that weight to culminate with being an undisputed champion.
No, I mean, Mel's a Hall of Famer. I'm just saying, and I think, and I hope I'm right, but I feel like most fans feel that Bud got that dog in him, which could be a bad thing, because if he gets hurt or clipped, he might go all in and get iced. But that's the difference. That's the difference between him and Mel. Mel, once he felt that power and got dropped, he backed off and just danced for the rest. He didn't really try to win the fight. If Bud gets hurt, he's going to try to go for it probably. That's Crawford.
And that's the thing with Canelo. Canelo has, and now Canelo, as before, Canelo is not what he used to be. Like, and Canelo is younger than Crawford, but Canelo's been fighting since he was 15 years old, and it's easier to actually gauge his deterioration as a fighter. I mean, first the knockouts, like, he hasn't stopped anyone since 2022.
He's got like probably 100 more rounds more than Crawford. Like,
100 more rounds than Crawford.
Yeah, like at least 100.
And none of the fights have necessarily been taxing on him physically, as in, they're he's just losing his ability to finish his opponents within the distance. But Canelo, to his credit, he is a gym rat. He stays in the gym. And usually Canelo will get up for a fight. Like, if he got up for the Mel fight, because had he lost that Mel fight, people would have been questioning his legacy, like, big time. So it's like, and so he knows he knows that this fight is important to him. And then, of course, you have like the little side controversies. Now you have, Boots. I think Boots and his brother were his were one of his sparring partners, and that was a whole big old thing, for a lot of different, boxing Twitter definitely was not feeling Boots being Canelo's partner, even though the Ennis family has had
the Ennis family go back with Canelo years. I mean, you know what I'm saying? They go back with Canelo for a long time, right?
Yeah. the longest time.
And you
And
got Yoli Hernandez in there too, the Cuban 160 with the big neck.
yeah, and Rome. I know you're probably watching what the Vikings are doing to the Bears now. Yeah, I'm just side eyeing. I'm like, what the fuck is going on? Well, they certainly McCarthy certainly picked the right time to evolve as a NFL quarterback.
Yeah, I gotta eat my word because I was talking shit. I gotta eat my words. Okay, McCarthy's doing well now. Good play.
Yeah, but I digress. And yeah, so Canelo, I have a feeling Canelo's gonna try to do what he did with the Mel fight because basically, Canelo power box Mel. Like Canelo made sure that that Mel felt his power, and he's gonna make Crawford feel his. And truthfully, this fight might be, I think, for the key to victory for both these guys is defense. Like it has to be defense because neither of these guys, although Canelo has more of a chin than Crawford. Crawford officially has not been down. Unofficially, he's been down once. Canelo has not been down, although he has been. He was incredibly rocked against Miguel Cotto's little brother all those years ago.
I still feel the Mean Machine knockdown was more of like a trip rabbit punch, but I can see some people think he got rocked.
It does. It was because Crawford still says to this day he's the hardest punch he's ever faced, and and Mean Machine.
He's a hard puncher. He's a hard puncher for sure.
Yeah, no, Mean Machine was lining up Virgil Ortiz too. So Mean Machine, if you can't take him lightly. So and then Crawford. So Crawford, for more anything like that, he has to avoid getting hit by Canelo. Like defense has to be the word. And Crawford has a lot of physical advantages. Like outside of not size per se, but I think he has a longer reach to Canelo. He has good movement. He does. Most people say that Crawford has no. Doesn't
Crawford,
have that.
Honestly, real quick, Crawford got 4-inch reach advantage over Canelo, 2 over Bivol. So he's got a 74-inch reach. I think Canelo's 70. So he definitely has the reach advantage. So I just want to mention that.
Yeah. So with Crawford, obviously with Crawford has to get Canelo's respect early, meaning like he has to hit him with something that's gonna make him hesitant to move in. And obviously the jab is gonna be coming to play. I'm not sure if the switching stances will be of any type of, will be a thing for Canelo, because Canelo is not necessarily a person that kind of gets bamboozled by niggas switching stances in fights. It's more like you have to kind of keep him off you. You either have to bully Canelo or you have to hit him with something that'll make you respect. That'll make him respect. If you don't do either, he's just gonna walk right fuck through you. And I have a feeling that's what he's gonna try to do with Crawford. He's definitely gonna be looking to air Crawford out. So Canelo, and then Crawford has to. So Crawford basically, he has to let that jab go. He has to be able to stick and move, get in and out, and above all, be able to kind of stay on his toes a little bit for 12 rounds. That's of course because we're not expecting him to. If Crawford is bullying Canelo around the ring, then hey.
Do you think? Well, that's what I'll ask you, Pat. Do you think, obviously, the added weight is Crawford going to be significantly slower? Like, is he going to be able to stick and move? Do you think? Or and another thing I want to ask on top of that, stamina wise, because obviously the gas tank, Canelo usually has the issues. We haven't really seen Crawford tired, right? Like, you don't seem like it at least. Do you think the weight? How much do you think the weight's going to play a role into like his, Crawford's fluidity, speed, and ultimately stamina? I was wondering your opinion.
Yeah, I think the stamina will only be. It depends how much pressure Canelo puts him under. If Crawford is able to fight relaxed in some fashion against Canelo, then I can see his stamina really being, it'll hold up even as he's going up 2 divisions. But if Canelo is starting to press him a little bit, then there'll be the question is like, will Crawford's gas tank hold? To his credit, Crawford has never really gassed out in a fight like that. He hasn't. Not even against Madrimov. Madrimov was giving him movement like
nonstop feints, like fucking 20 feints per round type shit. He was doing.
Yeah, and he didn't burn out from that. So I think that Crawford's stamina will hold. I don't think. But like I said, it's just more the inactivity. Now, if had Crawford been active, that would be like hell yes. But I'm not. I can't rule out the fact that it could be there could be a situation where if Canelo puts him under enough pressure, because Canelo has more than adjusted to 168. Canelo can go 12 rounds. And really, the only fight the only fights that really taxed his stamina was Triple G, and then going up to 175 with Bivol.
But but we have to admit he does look pretty gassed by round 7. Usually for the most, like he's usually pretty, in terms of lesser output and just significantly less active. I feel like in terms of he always had an endurance issue. I wish Shutter was here to shit on him about it. But yeah, he definitely has endurance.
Funny is just Canelo's had this issue since he was fighting at 147, 150. Like it's the same thing. It's just like Canelo, for whatever reason, and for a guy that popped dirty for PEDs, like his stamina has never been where it needs to be, which is amazing. Why? But it's also amazing too. He's never completely gassed out in a fight that cost him a victory. Like when Floyd, when he fought Floyd, Floyd, obviously he schooled him. He had his legs. He had the hand speed. He had advantage. He had better defense. Canelo fought hard for 12 rounds. He just couldn't trap Floyd for shit. He couldn't do anything with Floyd because he was like a step or two behind. And then Bivol is a big 175 pounder, and he happens to be faster than him, had better legs, and was big enough where he was able to bully Canelo into the ropes. That type of deal. But straight up, but it's like it's always like it was two different ways that someone has beaten him. So it's just like that's why it's just curious to see like what type of strategy Crawford is going to utilize for something like this. I know Chris Brand. If Crawford wins, won't happen. But if he somehow stops Canelo, crazy conversations will happen. Well, boxing Twitter will just fucking absolutely explode. If Crawford stops Canelo in this fight, boxing Twitter will just be on fire.
It would never be the same.
It would never be the same because there are a lot of people for Crawford who have not gone over what Crawford did to Spence.
A lot of people.
There's a lot of people. And some of them are low key wanting to see Crawford beaten. Yeah, Crawford.
I want Crawford to get dropped, stopped, embarrassed.
Yeah. I was one of them niggas.
Yeah, Rome was one of them niggas.
But I know people who are converted Bud fans after what he did to Spence. There are some people like that admit, I was willing for Arrow, but what he did to Bud. I mean, what Bud did to Arrow, I'm a fan of Bud now, and
and that is also me, nigga. That is also me. Yes.
Yeah. So and then I'm just reading Adam. It's possible Crawford has more power than anyone Canelo's fought. No, Crawford doesn't have power than Triple G. Triple G hits harder than Crawford, like way harder than Crawford. So no, I'd say too. I mean, Canelo's even mentioned before. Triple G's hit him the hardest, and Triple G, and because if you ever watched their 3 fights, like there are fights there where Triple G laces him something serious, and he ate those.
Skill for skill, you think Crawford's a more skilled fighter than Canelo from top to bottom overall?
I do. Okay. I think I do because Canelo. I'd say the Canelo at 154 and some of the parts at 160. Like Canelo had good defense.
I think he was his best at 160. The second Triple G fight, to me personally.
Yeah, that was a Triple G. Yeah, because at 160, like Canelo was, Canelo had to have movement. He was able to kind of slip punches. His footwork was actually a lot cleaner. He wasn't plotting like how he became at 168 and then 175. Like he was a better fighter at one. He was a better fighter at 160. He was a better fighter at 154. You know, though I think that was prime Canelo at his his ability wise. You know, prime Canelo hasn't been like Caleb Plant that's the last time you actually saw any parts of what you call prime Canelo. That was the last person that actually he actually looked good. I mean, he's still the only guy to ever stop Caleb Plant too to this day. You know, so I mean, like I said though, I mean, yeah. But like I said, I'm not knocking Canelo. I'm not knocking Crawford's power because Crawford, for a guy of his size, Crawford is pretty fucking strong. Like if you ever see him in the videos in street clothes, you know he's out here like deadlifting 450 pounds like it's nobody's business. And Crawford, in one underrated advantage that's never really mentioned for Crawford has, he used to wrestle. So, and like wrestlers are extremely strong. They're strong people like that, and gymnasts. Like they have their core strength is out of this world. And if you have that in your at least your physical bag of tricks, yeah, you could do something. There's a reason why you don't see Crawford ever getting pushed back in any fight like that. Like no one has been able to really push him back. But yeah, though, yeah, Crawford, but I'm not saying that Canelo's not strong. I mean, Canelo, was able to fight at light heavyweight and shit like that, and was not able to be, was not dropped or anything like that. So it's gonna be, like I said, it's gonna be interesting to see like who's gonna be like pushing around who in this fight. Miss Bitch, Bud Jesus of boxing, Superman 147. Canelo struggled with Laura, bro. Whoop. Yeah, I mean Canelo. Yeah, obviously we can go through the list of fights where Canelo didn't look good, even in his wins. Like,
but the fact is, he still is a 168 fighter now, and Crawford is, I mean, really, he was a welterweight. So it's like that's
right.
That's the main thing.
Yeah, and of course there's history. Now, obviously, as we mentioned before, there's history on the side of Crawford. Now, if Crawford wins this fight, he's going to be the first fighter in the 4-1 era to actually be undisputed in 3 different divisions, which is an insane feat. And he's probably going to be, as far as I know, he's probably going to be the only lightweight champion that's ever been a super middleweight champion. Because I don't think that's.
Because Duran and Barkley was 135 to 160. So yeah, that's facts. You're right.
Yeah. No, actually, no. Duran was 160. Yeah.
Yeah. He beat Barkley for the 160 belt.
Yeah. So like, yeah, there's not too many. There's definitely not too many lightweight champions that can say that they were undisputed super middleweight champion. That's literally unheard of. Unless I'm double checking because I think there might be one other fighter.
No, I think the biggest leap would be from Homicide Hank Henry Armstrong went from featherweight up to.
Oh no, I'm absolutely wrong. Crawford would be the second fighter.
Who was first
to do this?
Who was first?
Now the first fighter is a South African fighter named Dingen Tobela. And I watched him. Like he held the lightweight title in 1993 and then won the super middleweight title in 2000.
Damn.
Yeah, talk about your obscure. I had to double check that fact.
That's hella obscure.
Yeah, he held no belts in between either. He went from lightweight in the early 90s to in the 2000s holding a super middleweight title. That's insane.
That's crazy.
Yeah, that's an insane feat to actually do. And he knocked off a reigning champion to do it. So Crawford would be the second, but however, he wasn't undisputed champion. Crawford would be undisputed if he did that. And like I said, and he'd be the number one fighter in the sport today. Like, no, he'd be over Monster and he'd be over Usyk, and there'd really be no arguments about it. And of course you'd have to obviously talk about where he would stand in terms of all-time great status, because that's where he would be. Like, he'd be like a true generational talent. If Canelo wins, do you think he'll get the type of respect that he'll get for that win, or nah?
There's gonna be a lot of people that won't. if he knocks Canelo, I mean, I hope he doesn't knock Crawford out. I'm going for Crawford's my guy. If he knocks Crawford out, I mean, he should get respect. People are still gonna say he got a guy 2 weight classes who started at a lightweight. You know what I mean? So he'll
Right.
get he'll get respect. But it's funny because a lot of Crawford people that are picking Crawford are not gonna give respect if Canelo wins. So,
Yeah. I mean, well, what happened is Crawford would probably go down a little bit on the pound for pound ladder, and Canelo would probably go up. Canelo would probably only be maybe behind Monster and Usyk. Usyk for sure. Monster. I mean, I mean, it's subject to argument, but Usyk he wouldn't be above Usyk. That's for sure. So it's so
would Crawford? So, but wait, hold on. Let me ask you: if Crawford wins, because Crawford right now is 1, 2, or 3, maybe 2 or 3, because Usyk's probably number 1. But if Crawford wins, would he be able? Would he leap Usyk?
yeah, no, he would leave easily. He would definitely leave Usyk. Yeah, like I mean, a guy that's undisputed in 3 divisions, like yeah, like he would absolutely would lap Usyk for sure. That would be enough to me in my eyes.
Some probably won't, but I would. I'd put him above Usyk. Yeah.
And like I said, and if Crawford KOs him, then yeah, he would absolutely be. Like, that wouldn't be no question. So that so yeah, it's like it's a lot. What I'm saying, like it has a lot. It has a lot of history behind it and stuff like that in terms of what will be. But yeah, so Pilot. Now you're basically thinking that Crawford will win by decision or knockout.
I mean, like, nah. I mean, knockouts is very, very. I'm a Bud stan, I could say, but no, that's a super long shot. I doubt it. It's tough because I don't know if Crawford, like, if he can take the body shots or and his chin can hold up. I do see a path to victory for Crawford. Obviously it's in Vegas. Some of the judges they got a great ref, Tom Taylor. That big white ref. He's a really great ref.
Yeah,
But they got Cheatham and the judges. You know how it goes.
Weisfeld, all them, yeah.
Weisfeld, but Canelo in Vegas,
the usual jokers.
the usual. Yeah. But it's really difficult to say because Crawford has a legit chance if he can stick and move and the weight doesn't bother him and he can take and he does get hit. The thing with Bivol, because I've heard some arguments today. Bivol's a better fighter than Crawford. I'm like, I think Crawford's more versatile and he's better overall, but Bivol is great at what he does in terms of defense.
He is.
Yeah. But I mean, I prefer. But I think Bud's a better fighter. But I can see why some people, Bivol is great what he does.
He is great. Like, I mean, he has wins over Canelo and better be.
Yeah, he's only got in history to have 2 undisputed champions on his resume. You know what I'm saying? Like that's pretty crazy. But with that said, and him like Bud, Floyd and Usyk. I mean, Floyd and Bivol defensively are savants, right? I mean, they are. They're better than Bud defensively, clearly.
Yeah.
Bud gets hit a pretty decent amount. He rolls with the punches. But he gets hit clean, So that's what is a little concerning. I know he spars. I know he has less. The guy who's on the Coleman, we might talk about the Lester Martinez and Steven Nelson as his sparring partners, and I'm sure they give him good work, but it's different, right? It's going to be different,
right? Yeah, it's different.
In the ring,
absolutely.
In the fucking Allegiant Stadium, and it's going to be a big spotlight. I know Bud has fought in big fights. Canelo has too. Neither guy's fought in a fucking football NFL stadium. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
But so it's like, and I'm being long-winded here. I'm gonna say Crawford's gonna win. I'm speaking to this, and I think Crawford will win a decision, like 116, 112 type of decision. He might even get dropped, but I think Crawford's gonna win. I think there's something innate with Crawford. You got that Kobe Michael Jordan mentality. I think he won't be denied. I think he'll win a decision. And yeah, I'm saying 116, 112 type of vibe.
Word. And Rome, are you still sticking to your decision of Canelo knocking Crawford out? Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, even Kobe lost a game or 2. Even Jordan lost a game.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah, Canelo is about to beat the fuck out of Crawford, and he gonna make it look easy. And the other niggas gonna want to fight him after this. I promise you.
I mean, that's one thing. People do want to fight Canelo. Canelo's not that type of person where niggas don't want to fight him.
No, I'm saying they're gonna want to chase after Crawford after this. That's what
Oh
I'm
yeah,
saying.
yeah, yeah, absolutely, yeah.
Yeah, yeah. Because after he gets whooped, they're gonna be like, "Oh, nigga, let me get paid and whoop you too."
Yeah, because
You feel what I'm saying?
yeah, because like I said, Crawford has basically as long as he's aligned with Turkey, Crawford's pretty much he's getting his retirement package, so to speak. So we had, and then I mean, like I said, I would love to say, hey, Crawford can knock out Canelo, but Canelo has one of the best fucking chins in boxing right now, and maybe even on an all time basis. I mean, it's hard. Like, dude's been hit by light heavyweights and hasn't gone down. He's never gone down in how many fights he's had since he was 15 years old. He's never gone down. So, but but like I said, what makes me think if it was the Canelo from the plant fight, I think that Canelo would at least make it really hot for Crawford though. But I just think though, I mean, it might be motivation. I think it's also wear and tear. I just don't see like Canelo's his activity has gone, his work rate has gone down, even in the fights where he's actually handing out.
So this you like the other niggas. Everybody think that Crawford's gonna outwork Canelo and is gonna just pummel this nigga. It's not gonna happen like that.
No, no, definitely. I'm a bunch that. No, even though
Like
Crawford,
I know
yeah,
Bud's work rate is high, nigga, but when you're fighting a bigger fighter, I don't know if all that
no,
work
for
rate
sure, for
really
sure.
works like that.
But even then, I'm gonna say like Canelo. I'm sorry to cut you off, Pat. In regard to your, I'm just saying Canelo's been on a downward slope since Plant. Clearly he hasn't been the same fighter since Plant. Um, a lot of tread on the tire. So it's like that's what makes it intriguing. I think Bud has a better chance than some people. But no, Bud isn't gonna put hands and feet all over Canelo. I can't see that. But yeah.
Yeah, no, I mean, like I said, if he does, I'll be like, what the fuck, you know. So that's this thing. Like, I mean, but I honestly think as long as Crawford kind of gets a jab going, and it can actually, and one thing at least I know Crawford will do that most people don't do with Canelo is go to his body. You rarely see Canelo go to someone. People rarely go to his body like that. Floyd went to Canelo's body because it set up a lot of his counters. Bivol pretty much didn't really go to his body like that. Like he basically he was just countering him off the ropes and bullying him onto the ropes and letting like 6-punch combinations on his ass, like that type of shit. I just have a feeling that Bomac is probably coming up with a plan to at least try to go to Canelo's body, because if you go to Canelo's body, his gas tank is going to go a lot quicker than that. And then Canelo is one of those guys because he's a ginger, so he can't hide his exhaustion even as much as he wants to. He'll fight harder, he'll fight dirty, but once he starts getting flushed fucking red, it's like it's over. Yeah, dude be huffing and puffing and shit like that. And I honestly think, and I'm like you, Pi, I do think someone's gonna go down, and I'm looking at Crawford since Canelo's power is Canelo does have the power to drop him, but I think Crawford will kind of like lock in and will probably will box him up and will probably win like a 116, 117, 111 type of win. Although the judges will probably make it 115, 114, 115, 113. Because that's the bullshit that be happening. Because
the plot armor, the quote unquote plot armor.
Yeah, because Canelo for some reason can't lose wide and clean. Like the Bivol fight, he lost that so fucking wide, it was unbelievable. And
they made that 7-5 across the board, right?
113.
They made that 7-5 across the board, right? All across for that fight.
Yeah, that's a whole bullshit. Yeah, that was some old bullshit. And then Floyd, someone actually gave that motherfucker a draw. And I was like, there was no fucking way 6 rounds. You could barely find 1 round to give him in that fight. But judge gave him 6
Floyd's face was
rounds.
hilarious. Floyd was hilarious when he was like draw. He was like, what?
Yeah. But I'm gonna err on someone who I think is doesn't have as many weaknesses glaring as other. And Crawford's weaknesses. He has them, but they're not as glaring as Canelo's at this point. So that's why I'm thinking that's why I'm thinking decision too. So for our gambling degenerates, I'm opening it up DraftKings right now. So basically right now if we look for money line, Canelo is minus 180, Crawford is plus 145. So it's almost getting to that point where it's close. For prop bets, Canelo by KO is plus 380. Canelo by decision is plus 115. The plot armor bet. The draw is plus 1600. Truthfully, I would say if you want to put something on there, if the fight is even like that, I say the draw is not a bad bet to put on this fight. Like it could be like an emergency bet or something like that, But I honestly, I would actually put something on a draw. Crawford by KO was plus 850, and Crawford by decision is plus 210. So, yeah, I mean, my recommendation is, I'd say, if you want to put money on either decision, or I'd say, and then as long as you back it up with an emergency draw bet, because I do have the feeling since it is a turkey card in Turkey, in Turkey, Canelo, Crawford and Canelo are both like turkey guys. That I could see it. Like if they're that even, it just might be like draws across the board type of deal. But yeah, I'm excited for this fight though. It's because and like I said before, in terms of fights this year, like the magnitude of this fight, it's on Netflix. So Netflix is, I know Netflix and boxing it's been hit or miss on a lot of different ways. Because I mentioned even this before as an argument, Netflix isn't looking to invest in boxing. They'll invest in events, and this is an event that that they're looking for. So they're not going to be a platform that's like, hey, look, we're going to build up a fighter from from the beginning all the way up to a main event. That's not what they're going to do. They're going to pay for fights that already have some sort of buzz, or that's some sort of like fucking Jake Paulish type of cards, like this shit. Like, hey, Crawford is going up 2 divisions to go fight Canelo, that type of deal. But the fact that it's not on pay-per-view, and I think a lot of people have. I mean, if you don't have a Netflix sub, then I don't know what to tell you. So it's like, come on, if you don't have a Netflix sub, then you better go get one if you want to watch this fight, because it's not being offered on any other pay-per-view like cable system platform. Like, why would you want to pay for it when it's like you can just pay a sub and actually get the shit and watch the shit clear, So I mean that at least that's the good part of this, and this fight, and we'll get more to the main undercard too. But yeah, Turkey went pretty much all out because there's basically the prelims is basically is an addendum to the main card, and then there are 2 cards, one on Wednesday and one on Thursday. That's all part of the whole Crawford Canelo Fight Week events. So Turkey's going all out for this, and we'll touch upon those a little bit later though. But the main undercard, so I know, and then pretty much the best fight on the main undercard is Christian Mbili and Lester Martinez. Like that is that's a quality 168 fight, and Mbili holds a GameStop belt because Canelo's kind of he has the super he has all the super middleweight titles, and he's not necessarily looking to defend them against his mandatories anytime soon, nor are they going to make them, except maybe the IBF, but that's here or there. So Lester Martinez, I mean, if you've watched the Pro Box cards and stuff like that, Pro Box cards, you see Lester Martinez is an exciting fighter. He can punch, he can bang, and everything like that. Like, and he can box too. Like dude is. I mean, the only thing that's kind of hindering him, that's held him back, is the fact that he used to get these weird. He cancels fights because of migraines, Although I think recently they got to the kind of the cause of why that's happening. So, hopefully, you hope you got that shit straightened out. And then you got Christian and Billy, who's been fighting on the top ranked cards in Canada and stuff.
What was the cause of that shit?
It's something. I think it's something like related to his sinuses or some shit like that. So he got surgery on it.
Surgery on his sinuses, and now he's about to box, nigga. It's asking for a loss.
Well, I mean, and that's what That's what makes it fight intriguing because they both have power, and Billy has lots of power. But I think Billy lately has kind of shown he's kind of one-dimensional. It's a hell of a one dimension, because dude has just been annihilating his opponents. But there are fights though where he's gone to distance. He hasn't looked all that great or whatever, and he's kind of struggled a little bit, stamina wise. But he's coming off a brutal one round knockout of Selecki, who had never been stopped, and he came probably the closest to anyone of actually stopping Derevyanchenko. In that fight went the distance. So this is pretty much that's what I say. This is a quality 168 fight because the winner of this fight pretty much I'd say depending on who wins between Crawford and Canelo. If Crawford wins, the belts might be released, and one of those guys will probably be upgraded to be champion and stuff like that. So, quality fight. Pilot, how do you think? So who do you have winning this fight? Oh, Pilot stepped away for a little bit. Okay, Rome, who do you have winning this fight?
I don't know. I feel like surgery. How long ago was the surgery?
It's been a while ago. It's not recent.
I'm thinking it's like after his last fight, he got the surgery type shit.
Yeah, well, not after his last fight per se, because his last fight was in March.
Cause I don't know, nigga. You got me convinced after niggas get injured and have to be put back together and shit after the Spence shit. I don't know, nigga. You say these niggas are not indestructible, so I feel like the other nigga got it.
Spence is different. Spence went through car accidents. This one is yeah, that's a little different from a migraine. In this particular case, they said he got it under control now. So but he has canceled fights because of it, which is kind of slowed and kind of hindered his, in terms of him actually being more well known. So the fact that he's actually getting a spot like this on the card, is great. He deserves it. So but are you sticking with maybe Billy winning this fight?
Yeah, I got him. Let's say eighth round KO. 8th round KO. Stop it. Yeah.
Yeah, that's actually not bad. I have Martinez winning by probably maybe 11th round KO type of deal.
Late.
Yeah. Yeah, I think he'll stop Billy late. Because Billy Billy gasses, but he is scrappy though. Dude will stay in the fight.
If you in the 11th round, nigga, you think he gonna gas it in the 11th and just go down?
Yeah, Martinez can punch. He's a puncher too, but I think I trust Martinez's tank more than I do in Billy's. So yeah, I will. So yeah, that's what I'm saying. I think I will go with. That's why I'm going with Martinez though. And Billy.
Go ahead. I was gonna say, what's the odds for this shit?
Oh, let's see.
What they think? They think this shit going a distance or what? Because it sounds like it might go to distance.
So we have I think DraftKings only has the money line up. I'll check the other one, but Billy on this one is a minus 185 favorite Martinez is plus 145. Let me check FanDuel.
They don't got the KO props and none of that.
No, sometimes they don't have it. They don't have it up for certain fights until like later in the fight week.
Until like right before the fight type shit. Try to get.
Yeah, I'd say maybe at the earliest, probably Wednesday, they might do it. Okay. Let me go check FanDuel. Let's see what they.
Yeah, if mine is 185 favorite, I say the KO is probably plus 250 or some shit for Mbelly.
Let's see. So
Martinez might be plus 500 for the KO.
Oh well, FanDuel has prop bets up. So
that's my guess.
So Mbelly decision is plus 290. Mbelly KO is plus 145. A draw is 15. A draw is plus 1500. Martinez is plus 260 for decision, and Martinez KO is plus 440. So
yeah, it's. I mean, odds are pretty close, but you can see Mbelly finna knock this nigga out.
Yeah,
it's a tough call for that fight. Yeah, because I like Lester. He's part of the Bomac team with the counter punching, but his output isn't really. He is a selective output. You know what I'm saying? And Billy just this work rate's crazy. You know what I'm saying? So it kind of makes it intriguing.
So who do you have winning this fight?
Yeah, what's your pick for that shit then?
Oh yeah, I want Lester Martinez to win, but I think Billy might be too much, to be honest. At this point in their careers, even though they both have beat Gongora pretty handily, I'm gonna say, actually, fuck it. I'm gonna say Lester Martinez is gonna get a knockout on him in round 10. Fuck it. I'm gonna be different. Around 10 knockout, he's gonna catch him.
Yeah, I said,
but it won't be easy. It won't be easy.
Yeah, I said around 11.
Around 11. What'd you pick, Ron?
I picked Mbelly in round 8.
Okay. But this should be the fight. This should be the show stealer, right? This fight should be a good fight. I feel like.
Yeah, no, on the main card, this should be the show stealer of the night. Like I fully expect it to, you know. And then also,
what is that? Is this a co-main or this is a pre?
It's on the main undercard, but it's not the co-main for whatever fucking reason. The next fight is, and I don't understand why it is either. You know, it's basically a prospect fight. You know, against Callum Walsh and Fernando Vargas Jr. And on paper, it's a good fucking fight. I have no problem with that fight at all. But
that's the co-main.
Yeah, they made that the co-main. I have no fucking idea.
They did really? That's interesting. That's crazy.
Yeah,
double check that. That's crazy.
Well, I know Walsh is a part of the low-key part of the whole TKO thing because he was on the UFC Fight Pass and he has kind of the connection with the Irish. I don't know. It's kind of interesting that they made that the co-main. You know,
yeah, I mean, that's what they're saying. Like that's the co-main. I'm thinking to myself, why would that be the co-main? And Billy Martinez is definitely the co-main type of fight. And not like I don't mind Callum Walsh or Fernando Vargas as a fight because I think it's a good fight because you know one of my things I always say is like we don't get a lot of young prospect fights anymore. Like, because a lot of the promoters like to kind of hide them a little bit, you know, and then we'll only risk if it's like a title shot type of deal. And they stay with these prospect fights like well into like they're almost into almost getting 30 fucking fights. So a fight like this, and you know, I approve of it because Callum Walsh is a Irish talent, 6 foot, fucking 154 pounder, and then you have Fernando Vargas Jr. who punches through the fucking roof. You know, I think more than all his brothers, Fernando Vargas Jr. probably got more of his father's power than any of his brothers. I don't know if you, Pilot, do you agree?
Yeah, no, I still think Amato is the redhead stepchild. Some people think Fernando is the redhead stepchild, but I think he's better than Amato. But
no, Amato, he's the worst of the brothers.
Yeah,
he's not.
Yeah, to me he is. But the thing is, we don't know how good Fernando is because he's fighting these bums on Marv Nation Triller. He was stuck on that shit. So it's like we don't know. Walsh is a bit more tested. Walsh has fought more quality fighters for sure.
Yeah, exactly. You know, but like I said, but Vargas is a bigger puncher. There's not for Fernando Vargas. He can fight and he can punch. He can. I mean, he's not like his brother. Emiliano is the that's the dude that he has world champion written all over him. You know, but Fernando Vargas isn't that far behind him. But and yeah, and I can see that too because like Callum Walsh is a tough guy, and you can't take him. You can't take him lightly at all. So
he's had a couple fights where it's like he's looked a little iffy, but then again he's fighting better competition. So that's the thing. Like there's a fight where he won kind of wide, but it was really close, and I was
right.
like, but then again that guy is a better fighter than Vargas has ever fought by far. So it's like it's tough to really.
Yeah, exactly. So I have no problem with that fight, and I'm gonna rock with Vargas Jr. on this one. Nothing against Callum Walsh. Like I don't think he's a bum or anything like that. But I just feel like the fact that he has Vargas Sr. in his career will be like will be like because I know Vargas will probably will him to that victory. And King P has joined us. King P, what's going on?
Fuck everything.
What's popping, P?
Fuck the Bears.
Fuck you, nigga. Fuck the Jets, nigga.
Y'all pissed me the fuck off.
Nigga, I'm pissed myself, nigga.
I lost out. I cashed out early on a fucking bet yesterday. I should have let it ride, pause, and I would have won $1,600 today. But the fucking Ravens and then the fucking Bears.
Yeah, man. Yeah.
I want to talk about it.
Yeah, fuck
so
that.
Pete,
I'm thinking about next week.
So what's up? What's good, man?
So right now we're just getting down to like the main card on there. So if you want to quickly like give your picks for
give them
for the main
rundown.
event for Martinez and Billy, and then for Walsh, Fernando Vargas Jr.
Oh, man, Lester's gonna beat the shit out of and Billy.
Oh hell
Like,
no!
this is gonna be his coming out party. Pause. So
What round?
Yeah, like 6th round.
Oh,
6th round KO.
Yeah,
He gonna beat the shit out.
He going against the grain.
So Rome, you're the odd man out in this.
And Billy, I don't think highly of him, Billy. I think if Lester puts it all together tonight, like that night, he's gonna beat the shit out of him, Billy.
Peter thinks he's mid Billy, huh? You think he's kind of mid?
No, he's not very good.
Yeah, like I said, and Billy, as he's increased his competition, has been looking suspect though. Like I said, I mean, even though Derevchenko is a tough guy, that fight should have not went the distance considering how badly he beat Derevchenko. Like that was. I was like,
that's where Derevchenko had like one hand. I felt like half the fight. I felt like right. He was hurt. You could tell he was clearly hurt.
Yeah, exactly.
But then again, Lester Martinez is not even fought a Derevchenko type of guy. You know what I'm saying? I know they have Gongora as a common opponent, and Billy's more active in terms of work rate and also fighting more, often it feels like. So, because remember he had that fake, Martinez had that fucking fake migraines to get this fight. He keeps pulling out of fights and shit.
Yeah. But Pete, what about Crawford and Canelo?
I got Canelo, unfortunately. I just listen. I think highly of Crawford, but going up 2 weight classes in your first fight at 168 against the best guy at 168, even a decline version, very few people have done that. So I'm sorry, I just can't. I can't go with Crawford in this one. So, and I don't even know if he'll last. Honestly, pause. It might be a late stoppage.
Oh wow! Rome's had pretty much had similar thoughts too, so you're not alone in that.
Because it's like I know Bud is a great fighter, and if they were the same size, absolutely. But he's never fought at that weight. We don't know what he'll take punches like. There's just too many unknowns for me to go with Crawford. So, if for a guy that only had one fight at 158 and now is moving right to up 2 more weight classes, that type of shit does not happen. We already saw what happened with Charlo, and I know Crawford's a better fighter than Charlo, but it's just the idea of the weight. Like Charlo could not hurt Canelo at all, and every shot Canelo hit Charlo with, he felt it, and he made a business decision. Crawford's not going to make that business decision. He going to fight all the way through, and that's what might cause him to get knocked out, to get stopped. So, Yeah.
Like, weight affects everybody differently. Some niggas can work with it, some niggas can't. You don't know what Crawford can do with it.
Plus, I'm seeing those pics, and he looks kind of soft in the middle. Pause.
That's crazy.
I mean, honestly, I mean, well, we're gonna have to wait until. Well, I mean, we're gonna have to wait till they do their public workouts. I think it's on Thursday or whatever, just to kind of gauge where they are. And of course,
You saying he looking fat, King P? You nigga looking
not really fat. No, it's not fat. It's just kind of like, I don't know,
soft and
like
squishy
soft.
type shit.
Yeah,
he look squishy. He don't look like he could beat a nigga up.
I mean, I don't think he looks fat at all. Like, I mean, it depends on what picture.
I don't think he looks fat. Like I said, fat's not the right term.
He said squishy, nigga.
Now Crawford looked like he actually be put on some size, but he doesn't.
Now that might be, but to be fair, that might be a late. Like the picture that I saw might be like a old picture. So I'll wait till the.
I mean, I'm going by the picture that Crawford himself posted.
Yeah, wait till the weigh-in. Wait till the weigh-in.
Like the one where Crawford is flexing in the mirror. That's the picture that I'm going by. And although people are doctoring it and trying to make it look like motherfucker's Incredible Hulk and shit like that, and making this motherfucker look like he should be a fucking linebacker or some shit, which is not, like. But the picture I saw, it's like that dude has like a fucking 8-pack and everything. Like, okay, well, like I said, yeah, we'll have to probably wait until either maybe the public workouts or for sure the weigh-in to see what he really looks like, But I mean, but even in his clothes, like he's not fat. He doesn't look fat at all.
Yeah, no, he's not fat.
Yeah, no, because there are motherfuckers that have gone up to 168 from a lower weight, and like I remember being very disappointed that Triple G went up to 168 and looked fleshy, like which is not how he usually looks. And I was like, God damn, like he don't look like he's in shape at all. Not at least not in his usual shape. So, but I mean, we'll see how that goes. MP, what about Fernando Vargas Jr. and Callum Walsh?
Sorry, I didn't realize I was on mute.
Okay.
That's a mid-off. The fuck? Ugh.
You think so?
I mean, it isn't, but it is. Like that. I don't know. I don't think highly of that Vargas. But I'll go with Vargas.
I mean, because I know me and Pilot just talked about. I mean, Amado's the one we don't think highly of. Fernando Vargas can punch.
I don't think he could punch, but like as a rounded fighter, I don't know about him. To be honest with you, but I've been biased. Emiliano's the one that I like the most.
Yeah, no, Emiliano is the chosen one. Like dude, if it should be, he should be fighting like a top 5 person in the division soon. But we know how Top Rank likes to operate. So
I'm gonna go with Vargas though. I think I'll vote Vargas by KO.
Yeah, and like Pilot mentioned that Walsh has fought better competition, but Walsh is
but Walsh another guy I don't think very highly of.
Right, he's cool, but yeah, he hasn't, but he's not otherworldly talent.
He's fought better competition, but he hasn't looked all that great doing it. So.
Yeah, if I remember, his last fight was like a technical decision or some shit like that because of a cut. But he was winning the fight. It was just unfortunate that it ended that way, But I mean, I'm a fan of, because we don't get a lot of young prospect fights. They don't happen as much for various reasons, political reasons and stuff like that. So I'm actually looking forward to it. Like now, obviously, if those two young guys together in this car and they start fighting all mid and shit, then I'm gonna be upset. I'm like, get these motherfuckers off. Like, get them out of here. Like, get this off this bullshit. Get them off my TV. But I know some of the, I guess, feedback from the main card is, like, it should have, like, at least one more high-powered fight on it. But, unfortunately, this is a Turkey card. So, Turkey likes to actually get other Arab boxers on there. So, he has one of his Arab boxers as an opener on there. And he's been on multiple of these Turkey cards, and he has not made one single good impression on me, like, at all. Like, he should, he shouldn't be on there, but since Turkey's kind of financing the whole thing, he kind of puts whatever fighters he wants on the main cards, which is the one of the things I don't like. I mean, that's one of my few things, I just like, like he needs to stop that shit. No one really wants to see him on TV. Like he needs to let him. They need to develop off TV. They need to be dark matches and shit like that. Because especially since he put together a 5-fight prelim, which is insane, and the prelim has the better fights on it, particularly one which is a rematch with Sergey Bohacek and Brandon Adams. The first fight was on that old program that was on NBC Sports Network, which no longer exists.
That was a firefight.
Yeah, it was a firefight, and then Bohacek got brutally knocked out. Like he was winning the fight, but he got brutally knocked out by Adams. But the funny thing is too, Bohacek went on to kind of rebuild, and and obviously he gave Virgil Ortiz probably the closest fight he's had to date. And Brandon Adams pretty much kind of
he didn't fight for 2 years after, like literally 2 years.
3 years.
Literally 2 years. It took him like 2 years to fight again after that. That's crazy.
Yeah, and then when he did fight back, he signed up with OTX. And he's looked good on that one, although his last fight, I think he got robbed in that one. I know you probably saw that fight
against that guy Katz. Against that guy Katz, right? The guy Katz, he fought Katz or something.
Yeah.
Either way, Bohacek is getting his get back to this weekend. So
you think so?
Yes.
And funny thing too is because Bohacek was winning that fight though, but. Yeah, Bohacek though, because Brandon Adams, he can crack. That's the thing. Like, it's not like Brandon Adams can't fight. Brandon Adams can fight his ass off.
No, he can fight.
This fight should be the opener. I feel like this should be on the main card for sure. Like the turkey chicken.
Yeah. No, for sure it should be. So that's why it's just crazy that he's putting this fight on the prelim. I mean, it doesn't matter anyway because it's not like it's not pay-per-view. So. It's just adding on to everything. But Pete, what were you saying before? I'm sorry, we cut you off.
About what?
No, I thought you were saying something extra about Bohacek and
no,
Adams.
I just think I think Bohacek right now is better than he was when he fought Adams the first time. So
yeah, and I would agree with you. Yes, he's definitely improved in different ways though. But his defense though ain't really hasn't improved that much. But he's just tougher too. But I'm just looking at the odds now. So Bohacek
he didn't look good against someone. I watched the Macau Fox fight where everybody thought he was gonna knock Macau Fox out, and he didn't. So and he blew weight by like 8 pounds. So you never know.
So yeah, I'm just looking at the odds right now. So Bohacek is a -600 favorite. Adams is +370. Method of victory: Bohacek for by decision is +150. Bohacek KO is +110. Draw is +1500. Adams decision is +750. Adams KO is +650. Nigga, I am definitely putting Adams KO all day, every day. He's gonna catch him again. I just feel it. That's just one of those ones where I see that I'm like, yeah, I have to put money on Adams KOing him again, like because that shit was too crazy. But is anyone else going for Bohacek on this fight?
I'm not with you, Pat. I think I like Bohacek is a pretty solid 154 contender, top 5-ish. But maybe Adams got his number. I think Adams will win again. Maybe get robbed on the cards.
Yeah, if it goes a distance, I think Bohacek will probably get it on the cards. They'll find a way, But I honestly think Adams will end it in the distance this time. Rome, what about you? No, he must have stepped away. But yeah, though. But like I said, yeah, this should be on the main card. Like I said, but this is what Turkey's like. Okay. Like, I mean, it's not pay-per-view. You're not enticing people to actually watch this. You can actually make a fire main card, and you can put people that you want to shed light to on the prelim part. And then they have another fight on there that's actually pretty good too, with Ivan Dicheco and Jermaine Franklin. That's actually a great heavyweight fight. Like heavyweights, the heavyweight division. Like I said, there's not. It's got to the point where you can't make a bad fight out of that division anymore. Like, because all the heavyweights now, they're like Turkey has kind of got them where it got that division in order. So, and basically now, if you put like a potential top 15 heavyweight fight, like odds are like so it's going to entertain. I mean, the only thing that's probably stopping this from actually being like a whole renaissance is the fact that there's not a lot of American talent at heavyweight, but that's a whole different conversation. But Ivan Dacheka, though, like, I mean, like, dude is a talent, 15-0, 14 KOs. Like, he's been around for a minute. Like, he like, dude has pro wins over fucking Mo Harris and Ray Austin and shit like that. But I don't know why like his career's gone like so slowly, but he's like 35 now. Like, he's getting to the point where it's like now or never. And then you have Jermaine Franklin, who gave hell to Dillian White and should have won that fight, but got robbed. And then he gave Anthony Joshua a pretty damn good fight too. Those are his only 2 losses. So I look forward to this because Jermaine Franklin is like the rare American heavyweight, and not a lot of American heavyweights have a lot of motion. So he's definitely for him getting this spot is actually pretty good.
He's all we got, nigga.
Well, I wouldn't say that right now. I mean, Jared Anderson is still lurking around, but yeah. and then the cat on Golden Boy, but he's just starting out. Jermaine Franklin is actually like fought world class competition and hasn't been KO'd. So, if he beat Dacheko, who's like Ivan Dacheko is like 6'9", so like if he beats him, like that would be like a huge that would be a huge win for him, and he'll probably get catapulted into like a top 10 ranking easy. But that's a really great fight on the prelims too. Any of those fights could have been on the main card, so I don't understand that either. And then of course, Steven Nelson, just on the strength of actually being Crawford's boy, he has a spot on the prelim card. And then Marco Verde, he's facing Sona Khaled, the one that actually beat Nico Ali. So I mean, those are all decent. Those are all decent fights on prelims. They actually kind of flow and everything like that. So
that's the step up for Verde. Was he a silver medalist or it might have been bronze? I know he medaled, I think.
He's a silver medalist. Yeah.
I wonder if he's at welterweight or 154. I know he fought at 147. It was interesting. He's an intriguing prospect. A Mexican welterweight or big.
Yeah, I mean, he's fought 154. He fought at middleweight. So and then who he's fighting, like I said, he's a tough. I mean, he's a tough guy to actually fight in only his third fight. So, I mean, I'm not even mad at him. Like I said, he's known for beating Nico Ali. He took his 0. So, that's the right type of opponent in case you're trying to accelerate. You try to accelerate him into like either a 154 title shot or a middleweight title shot, But yeah, that's gonna be a long fucking day of boxing, long day. Cause I forgot. I don't even know what time. Do you know what time the prelims start?
I think was it 3? If I'm not mistaken, 2 or 3 in my time. So maybe 5 y'all time, 4 or 5 y'all time.
Wow.
I don't know if you're gonna mention it, but also there's a welterweight title fight as well, which is kind of crazy. That's like early in the day, the IBF title. That's kind of crazy too. The vacant title. Like, damn, so much boxing.
Yeah, and then even with that one, like there's actually boxing. I think it's on Sunday, and the reason why it's so crazy is because Top Rank, their TV agreement, their deal with ESPN expired in July. So they are currently without a TV platform. They don't have, so their fighters have kind of been, their fighters have been appearing on Matchroom cards, Golden Boy cards, PBC cards, all these smaller cards, even just to keep them active and stuff like that. But it just looks, it looks odd though when they're obviously their biggest star and a pound for pound fighter with Naoya Monster Inoue. And he basically, you don't know what platform he's going to fight on because it has not been announced yet, which is absolutely insane to me for the U.S. but he's fighting on Sunday against MJ Akhmadaliev, and it's a good fight though. It's a really good fight too. But this is one of the things I got to complain about this too is like Top Rank should have. For other fighters in the okay, look, yeah, you kind of like, okay, look, we can put you on a smaller card, but for someone who probably gave Top Rank probably the really last good TV card and a fight of the year, and it was like, and it was buzzing, everything like that. Top Rank should have made sure that they had a US TV agreement with Monster for this fight. It could have been DAZN, it could have been ESPN Plus, like a one-off, like they did with Oscar Valdez. Like they could have done something to actually get Monster on a TV on a platform where everyone can actually kind of see his fights. Because Monster deserves that. Monster definitely deserved that type of attention. So it's bad. It's a bad look right now. When basically, I think the only place where I think it's going to be airing is on ESPN Knockouts, which you can only get if you have Disney Plus Premium, which I don't have. Disney Plus is like one of the few streaming services I don't fucking have. So it's like it's fucking annoying that I'm like, okay, I have to probably look around. I'd hate to have to look around to look for a stream for this fight though. But Monster Akhmadaliev, it's a good fight. Like Monster for the most part had been not fighting the greatest competition at 122 as of late. Although the Cardenas fight, Cardenas kind of showed his mettle, and it was a fucking great fight. And Monster went down, and he returned a knockdown. He stopped him brutally. It was a great fucking fight, But Monster, probably one of the few complaints I have about Monster is, and I guess is probably because of his competition, who he's fighting. I think he's not as defensively responsible as he used to be. Like, it's one thing to just because that Cardenas fight never kind of sat right with me, how clean that punch was, and how like any other person that probably got hit with a shot like that would have been KO'd. It's one thing if you have Luis Neri hitting you, because Neri has comparable power. But Cardenas should have not been the one to actually. I don't think a fight of the year should have popped off with Cardenas at all. Like Cardenas, it wasn't even outside of the knockdown. Cardenas was making shit out of Monster.
Cardenas, he had a war. He arguably lost his fight before to the guy Segawa beat on Pro Box last week.
Yeah,
did you watch? You saw Segawa beat that guy's ass. That was the guy that Cardenas fought right before anyway. I'm just saying.
Yeah, exactly. So that's why it's just like, and I get it. Monster wants to be more, exciting, and he was fighting in America and everything like that. But I just felt like that fight, she should have been a little bit more defensively responsible. And also another thing I've been like kind of reading out there is most people think that Monster is past his prime. Do y'all think that or nah?
Yeah, I think there's a couple of things to consider. This is like what his fourth or fifth weight class, right? And he's about 31, 32. At the lower weight classes at 31, 32, 33, you're a little long in the tooth. So, given that he has been dropped twice at the last 4 fights, and he is at the age where those smaller size fighters do age faster. Yeah, he's out of his prime a little bit.
Yeah. I agree with Pilot. This nigga's out of his prime. Been out of his prime for about 1.5 years, maybe 2 years.
Yeah, because he has not looked anywhere where he used to be. Like, after he beat Stephen Fulton, like Fulton, that was like a
yeah. I feel like that was like the peak. That was like the peak of his prime.
Peak, yeah.
Because before that, every time I watch Monster, I'm in awe. I'm like, oh my goodness, that was amazing.
And he looked mid against he looked mid against Doheny. He looked mid against Doheny.
It's been lackluster. He's still good, but it's been like lackluster performances. It's not like he's keep going up and up and up.
Like I'm confident if Junto lands a left like that, I don't know if Monster getting up. If Nakatani lands something like that, some left heat, yeah, I don't know if Monster can get up from that. I'm just saying.
Right, and then but so do we think that Akhmadaliev could be the one to at least make shit hot for him?
I could see this going the distance because I don't think MJ's been dropped. So
no, I don't think he can. Honestly, this fight is a waste of time.
You think so?
Yes. Like I've never thought Akhmadaliev was that good. Like I've always thought he was overrated. I've seen him have some fights, like fight down to people's level that he shouldn't be fighting. So he's a good fighter, but I don't think he's on Inoue's level. And Inoue will beat the shit out of him when they fight.
If I think too is like, I mean, I partially agree with you on that because I mean, because I mean, his long loss was to Palace, and that was not a good fucking look. Because
but even before the fucking loss, he had some clunkers where even when he won, it looked really bad.
And I feel, I mean, I was in the house for one of his fights. Like I've like when there was a matchroom card up here in New Hampshire, I was in the house for it. Like, and I think if I remember correctly, he went the distance, but he beat the shit out of the dude. But I'm thinking to myself, like, this fight could have, and it was entertaining, but I was like, damn, this fight, he could have ended this fight a lot fucking earlier than what he did.
No, I saw him fight live too. Against what was his name? Kevin Gonzalez. He looked all right, like for after his loss, but like there were fights like before, like the Danny Roman fight. I did not think he looked good at all in that fight.
Yeah, and I always thought that Danny Roman got a raw fucking deal. I mean, obviously LB was actually in the house for that fight, and I know like but it was what it was. And truthfully, like I don't like anything about that fight because they kind of booted Danny Roman because if I'm mistaken, that was his last fight with Matchroom or he had something going on. But Danny Roman was absolutely killing it. I mean, he was giving Matchroom some of their early classics in that one. And this one, this one was a war too. Roman, they like, I personally thought that they jobbed Danny Roman. I agree with you, Pete. I didn't think he won that fight though. But the fucking thing is like after Akhmadaliev won the belt, Eddie was like, okay, yeah, I'm done with you. Like, yeah, we're not running this back. Like, we're done. You know, with that. And I never sat right with me how he actually how Danny Roman never got his rematch. Like, because I'm pretty sure he was supposed to. You know, but yeah, the Palace fight though was because Palace won that shit clean. Like that was not a robbery or anything. Like Palace really won that fight. Like he won, like he legit roasted the occasion and he won that fight, and he took the monster fight from him. See, my thing with Akhmadaliev is it wasn't like that. He kind of fought like a killer, at least like someone that a notable 122, but he kind of took like the backdoor way. You know, he fought busy. He fought just regular opponents, but no one was like, no one that kind of threatened him and kind of derailed the shot that he's not getting against Monster.
The last time I thought MJ looked really good was against Ronnie Rios. He beat the shit out of him.
He beat the shit out of him, yeah.
That's about it. And then and Rios wasn't the same after that. I think he only had like 2 fights after that. And Ball beat him up, and then that was like, I have no desire to see Rios again. But that was the last time I was like, oh shit, that was a damn good performance by MJ.
Yeah, I agree. Yeah, though. Yeah, I was like, God damn.
And that was how long ago? Like fucking 3 years ago.
Yeah, exactly. Now, I mean, I'll say too. I mean, Akhmadaliev's biggest strength is he's a southpaw and he has a good chin. You know, like and like most of the people like from where Akhmadaliev comes from, he has good footwork. Like, dude be be Lomachenko light sometimes with his angles and shit like that, and making people miss. Something that you use movement against Monster. You can frustrate him. That's one of that's one of Akhmadaliev's biggest strengths. You know, but Monster, of course, he has speed himself. He has power. He has far more power. He has more power than Akhmadaliev does, and Akhmadaliev can actually punch too. And obviously he goes to the body and everything like that. So, and they both have high ring IQ. So it's truthfully, I think it's like I'd say, just to give respect, it's like a 75-25 fight. And it really all depends if Monster does not decide to get into a war with Akhmadaliev like he shouldn't. Like, this is the fight I want Monster to kind of get back to boxing a little bit, being defensively responsible, and just systematically break down Akhmadaliev rather than going balls to the walls again. Like, because I mean that's basically what he's been doing for his last like couple of fights at 122 because no one is fucking with him. So he's like, okay, look, I'm gonna try to walk through. And I don't think he should do that with Akhmadaliev because I just think that could be a problem. Am I wrong in thinking that?
Yes, nigga.
I mean, that's the only thing MJ really has going for him is the power. So I get it.
Yeah, so it's.
But that's
I mean,
that's what Monster got too. And
Yeah, but
Monster's technical with the power. So
No,
who
I mean
would you
he's got
rather have?
power, but MJ. I mean, you don't just want to walk into MJ's power because, like I said, he can crack. Like,
But in a way, don't walk into nothing. He don't just walk into niggas.
well, he has been.
He has. That's the thing. He has.
Yeah, like I remember before, like even like before the Donaire fight, he was doing it. Like the first Donaire fight was the fight.
Well, you're right, but his counter was his killer. That was his thing. He would force you to make him throw his counter to kill you, type shit.
The thing is that like he was walking into guys like recently, like even like more recently, like when he walked into fucking Neary and Neary dropped him, like because I was like, what? Like it was careless, like the way he just walked into it, and like Neary can punch, and I think MJ is actually a better puncher than Neary in the sense of how he puts his punches together. So I wouldn't like.
Do you think it's carelessness or a lapse in judgment at the time type shit? Like I don't think he's careless.
Monster does tighten after he got dropped in both those fights. He tightened up his defense. So
I don't think he's careless. I think he just gets into moments where he.
I don't know. I'm not saying he's careless, but like he does have these lapses where he just kind of like I don't know if it's a lack of respect or if it's just now he's just walking in to get his offense in and kind of leaving himself more open than he used to.
He get too comfortable
at a higher weight class.
Right. Get too comfortable, drop his hands a little, and then gets rocked.
Yeah, I mean, like I said, the Cardenas fight, he literally walked into that left hook counter that dropped him. Like he was squared up and got cracked like that. And I was like, and like in Monster, like I'd say if maybe 3 years ago, wouldn't be getting caught with shots like that. Like he would be a little bit like he would at least pick it off on his glove or something, And that's why I'm just thinking like, yeah, he can't do that with Akhmadaliev because Akhmadaliev will make him pay. And like I said, he's fine. Once or two, he is fighting heavier punches. But I do think Monster should break him down. Like, I mean, I'm thinking that I'm thinking it'll probably be even for maybe like the first couple of rounds because Monster does take a little bit to get going. Like Monster's not. I mean, unless you bring a fight to him early, he takes at least a couple of rounds to kind of get warmed up. But once he does,
about 3 or 4.
Yeah, like. Yeah, once he does though, it's off to the races, But I think like the biggest thing is like he has to go to Akhmadaliev's body because all that movement and angle shit. If you don't stop him from doing that, I can see him frustrating Monster. But I do think he will break it out Akhmadaliev and then he'll probably stop him probably like round 8. I'd say 8 or 9, but I'll go with 8. Anyone else got a KO prediction for Monster?
Yeah, I'm going with one of the most solid bets in boxing, nigga. In a way by KO.
I don't think this is to 2019, but I just have a weird feeling or hunch it's going to go to distance. He'll win a decision, but I think he might even drop MJ once or twice. But I don't know. I just have a hunch it's going to go to distance.
I mean, Akhmadaliev, like he hasn't been that. He is tough. Like he's not a pushover. He is really he's a tough guy, And I mean, like I said, if it wasn't for the Tapales fight, I think the fight will probably just be the fight will probably mean a little bit more just given that fact. P, what about you? I mean, I know you're probably thinking Monster KO. What round are we thinking?
8th round.
Yeah, every 8th round. So looking at odds right now, Monster is a minus 1100 favorite. Akhmadaliev is plus 620 on the money line.
You gonna take that money line?
Monster money line? Hell no.
I'm talking about the Akhmadaliev money line.
Oh, I mean, no.
Because that's what you were saying. He got the firepower. He gonna walk in on him, take that money line, boy. Drop a quick 50 on him.
I mean, if I was going to do that, I'd rather go for the flat out KO. But Akhmadaliev KO is plus 750. Akhmadaliev decision is plus 1800, which is insane. Draw is plus 1900. Monster KO is minus 290, of course, even though Akhmadaliev has never been KO'd or down before. And monster decision is plus 380.
Minus 290 on the KO is ridiculous.
Yeah, that's what I'm talking about. I'm like, I mean, I can see if it's like a lesser fighter.
Like, that's crazy because a KO is like hitting a home run in the MLB. Like, it's not like it's guaranteed to happen. Niggas is really guaranteeing this KO to happen.
I mean, truthfully, I think it's a little bit disrespectful to Akhmadaliev.
It is. It's like, yo, this nigga is getting knocked out, period.
I mean, if it was like maybe plus 100 or something like that, I can rock with that at least. But yeah, I don't think Akhmadaliev has shown anything for him to be a minus 290 if you get KO. Like you should be able to get paid, if you bet on a monster KO for this fight. You know what I'm saying? Like that's why it's crazy to me.
Damn.
Yeah,
disrespect.
They're putting no respect on it, but. It's on a Sunday, and I mean, also hopefully we'll learn more details about the time or the platform. It's if it's outside of ESPN Knockout, because I can't see that using ESPN Knockouts. They gotta put it on something else. They have to, because like I said, I'll be damned if I'm gonna get Disney Plus Premium just so I can get ESPN Knockout. Like hell no. Hell, I have ESPN Plus, and I even scoured it just to see, just in case. I have all other types of ESPNs on there, but no ESPN Knockout.
I saw someone, do a troll ping to the zone, a troll tag on the zone. Like, we pay so much money at the zone for all these bullshit pay-per-views. Why can't you give us, because MJ's a DAZN fighter, right? Matchroom fighter, so it's like,
that's facts. Like seriously, make that part of the DAZN subscription or. Work out a deal with ESPN again. Truthfully, it should be they should work out a deal with ESPN. This should be on regular ESPN, like no bullshit. Like because Monster, more than any other top ranked fighter, deserves that. That should be the move. But Top Rank clearly didn't plan for the future of because they're gonna be off TV until at least probably 2026. So so they have to keep the fighters active somewhere, but it's just not a good look that you have your top fighter is fighting in his home country, and you're gonna end up have to watch him on a struggle stream, or a Japanese streaming service, with a janky link. If you put your credit card in, it might send an alert to your phone. That type of deal. So. But but nevertheless, I look forward to Monster. I just hope this is probably like maybe the last year that Monster's fucking around with 122 because, that Nakatani fight is what's good, and I don't give a shit about no damn Picasso fight, which apparently is going to be the next Monster fight after this because, Picasso did.
I don't think anybody gives a fuck about that fight.
Yeah, I don't. Yeah, like, Picasso couldn't even hold up his end of the bargain. Picasso was out there, was struggling against the weakest of the Kameda brothers, and I'm supposed to believe that he's gonna challenge. He's gonna beat Monster. Fuck no. That fight should have that fight should have never been made. Like it should just go from that to the Nakatani fight, which is the next super fight for Monster. That should be it. That should be the fight at 123. And that should be the final fight, and then he should go up to 126 and and do what he does and end his career there. But. We shall see. And then, I think before we get up out there, just quick mention, because I think Pilot mentioned it earlier. Yes, the IBF welterweight title is going to be up for grabs in the Matchroom. And Eddie got himself another holding, another footing in at 147.
War Patty Donovan. Come on, Patty. Don't get screwed. Because you remember the ending of that fight was kind of crazy if you remember. Patty.
That's the reason why I'm not excited about the fight because Patty Donovan was beating the shit out of Crocker. He was.
Yeah, and they were Crocker was. It was so blatant. They were trying to get Crocker to win, and he was getting his ass beat. It's like it's bullshit.
Yeah, he was getting his ass beat, and then they found a way to DQ him, which was some old bullshit.
I mean, it was a little late, but it's still bullshit the way they did that. It was.
It was. So basically now Eddie somehow managed to get the IBF to say, hey, look, these are the top guys for the title. Can we put the title up for grabs for that? Like, he managed to get it, so yeah, like I said, I mean, if you want something to watch before the Netflix card pops off or whatever, that would be at least interesting to say who's gonna be in the mix with Rolly and Mario Barrios. Jeez. So that, I mean, like I said, this is actually like a full week of boxing. And of course, as I mentioned before, Turkey has two cards this week. He has a Thursday card. I think it's because the debut of his like new show or whatever on there that has Jalil Hackett on there, and then one of the flyweight champions is in the main event, and then he made another card for Wednesday with like more cats that are like they are not even like prospects, they're like lesser rank or whatever they are. He put that on there. I think that's like a public workout card. But there's like another 5 fights there. So Turkey's going all out, and for once, all these cards are in Vegas, so it's not in the desert. It's all in Vegas, and so he's put out a lot of boxing in Vegas for whatever reason. Like personally, he could have kind of stretched it out since there's not like there won't be boxing at this for like maybe another couple of weeks, give or take. So he could have stretched it out for like a different weekend, but. I guess he's trying to make some sort of impression with what he's been doing so far, coming in with Crawford and Canelo. But yeah, I think that's it for all the boxing stuff that's been going on. Does anyone have any final words, or does anyone want to at least mention what they saw in the football game before we get up out of there?
Fuck the Ravens and fuck the Bears.
I'll just mention I was shitting on JJ early. But I will say it was great play calling, and he executed it in the second half. I'll just say that. I'll eat crow because I was talking shit.
Get off his nuts, nigga.
Caleb missed some throws to DJ Moore that I'm like, come on, man, you gotta make those passes.
Yeah, he was also running for his life too. His O-line was failing him near the end of the game. Like, but I do admire the effort. Like Broad was for that little scramble that he did. Like,
week two. We thinking about week 2 now. Fuck that.
Yeah. Shout out me and Pat. We won. My Rams and his Eagles won a tough one. We both won some tough games. Winners win. You know what I'm saying? Winners win.
Yeah, but fuck Dak though, because he didn't get punished. He was the one that initiated that spitting bullshit, and Jalen Carr just responded in fucking kind. Now, I don't condone spitting by either. Don't get me wrong. I don't condone spitting by any of this. But the fact that Dak didn't get thrown out of the fucking game, and if he did get thrown out of the fucking game, we would have probably won that game by like 20 minimum.
But Dak spit on the ground.
Yeah, no, but he still spat, though. That's still disrespect, my nigga. Like, he still spat that nigga's direction.
Okay, if I spit on the ground next to you and you spit in my face, that's two different actions right there.
Nah, they ain't different acting. You're not supposed to. There was no reason for this nigga to get up in this nigga's face and spit, bro. He ain't got no tobacco in his mouth, nigga. Nah, fuck that. Like he wasn't supposed to. He should have kept that spit in his fucking mouth. Pause for good medicine. It's after 12. So
that nigga hocked the loogie on his shirt. That shit's disgusting. Throw him out. Did he get suspended for that? I didn't even double check after that.
No, he's going to be meeting with the vice president, and they're going to talk.
Yeah, they're gonna.
They should throw that nigga out the league.
Nigga, shut up.
Let's not go crazy.
That's not gonna happen, nigga. Shut up. Kale will be running for his life from him in no time. But nah. Nigga, you think I didn't see that? I don't see the play in that nigga comment, nigga. Shit. But it was like all it took was like one fucking play, and then one of our linebackers went down with a patella tendon injury. So I was like, what the fuck is just happening? Yeah, because of Jalen Carter going down, because it's clear that defense flows through him. So it was like everyone was out of fucking sorts in that first half. And Dak was and I'll admit Dak was actually playing good. It was just his receivers were letting him down. CeeDee Lamb let him down.
CeeDee had 3 crazy drops. He had two real bad drops for sure. Yeah.
Yes, including the final drop. That final drop was crazy. Like it was unacceptable for that. It was real unacceptable. and then drop. Yeah, there was some drops too. I felt sorry for Cam Ward too. They don't got no fucking receivers on that fucking team. Like
Calvin Ridley used to be a wide
He
receiver
used to be.
one.
He
Nigga.
used to be. He's washed now.
Cam Ward showed that he's good. Like I'm a
He's
believer.
good. Yeah, he's good. He's good.
yeah, I believe he has upside though. Like because
But
all
Tennessee
the throws
is fucking Tennessee is tough, dude. You know?
yeah, like the throws he wasn't overthrowing these cats or undercutting these cats. Like he was throwing them literally in their hands, and these niggas was dropping. Like
And that
his
Bronco
father was in the
defense-
crowd just like spazzing.
That Denver defense is super legit too. You know what I'm saying? Like they have a great defense. Denver has a real strong defense. So, because remember they cut the USC receiver they drafted in the first round, like only a couple years ago, Traylon something Burks maybe, but. Yeah, they need to definitely. I know Tyreek Hill's looking for a new home. Definitely, they need to upgrade the wide receiver position out there because you don't want to waste Cam Ward away.
Yeah, no, because Cam has talent though, but someone in that front office needs to get this nigga some receivers. Those receivers, a tight end that can actually catch somebody that can fucking catch a ball. You know what I'm saying? Because else it's just because else people are gonna be like, well, maybe this nigga's not throwing correctly. Cam he's making the throws, no one is catching. And that was the frustrating thing, just watching it because I was like, God damn, like I know
he was the most pressured quarterback this week, like I said, against a vaunted Denver defense, and he didn't get rattled, he didn't get flustered, like he didn't get shell shocked. He stood in there, and made some good throws, made some bad throws, but also like he had a lot of composure. Like that's stuff you can't teach.
Yeah,
right.
That last drive, they just went crazy.
Meanwhile,
I felt bad.
Hold up. Meanwhile, on the other hand, you got guys that were like the least pressured this weekend, guys like Trevor Lawrence, who got time to sit back in the pocket and yet still throw ducks. All he did was throw fucking ducks.
Before we touch on I know we want to real quick mention the Bills Ravens. How do you feel about the Fields in that game? I thought he did well.
He did really good.
He did really good.
He made all the throws. He was accurate. He was precise. He had good touch. The only thing he still is not the best at going through his reads, but like otherwise,
he should have fucking ran that. I feel like he would have got that first down.
And watch, King P. Another thing, this nigga was throwing right in between two people a lot. That's just gonna be a pick six come the middle of the season. I'm telling you, he was trying to zip it in between two people, and it barely got through a bunch of times. He's still forcing it.
Man, all I know is the one quarterback I didn't expect to even balled the fuck out, Daniel Jones against the fucking Dolphins.
Yeah, cool, because the Dolphins were that whole team is just
Yeah, I could like if Dolphins were the big favorite, then them niggas even have like how much faith you can have in a fucking close quarterback when you have that and you have Richardson as the fucking backup. It's like, come on, like that should have been a wash, but there was nothing that Dolphins would just like literally every single time Daniel Jones like was went down, let it drive. It was a score. Like I couldn't believe that shit. They made that motherfucker look all world in that game.
Meanwhile, Tua reading defenses is like Floyd Mayweather reading Cat in the Hat. It's just it's a struggle.
Yeah, and Miami defense, forget it. Yeah, what defense? Yeah, that's why like you saw that nigga like Tyreek Hill. He was spazzing on the fucking bench. That nigga was just like, "Yo, trade me the fuck away."
And the funny thing is, I said like coming into the season, they were going to be the team that were the most likely to implode because I just think that they got some talent, but the roster is poorly constructed. They don't have good like their coaching is horrible. Like
yes,
so there's just a lot of stuff that's just not good about that team. Like talent aside.
Yeah, no, none of that. Like, and I just feel right now, Tua is probably a couple of games away from getting another concussion because that defense can't do nothing. Can't do nothing. His O-line was trash. So it's just like I'm just thinking it's only a matter of time. And Carolina too needs to be put in this conversation too. I thought they would have turned the corner this season. Apparently, I was fucking wrong on that. It's like, I think the experiment over there is kind of over with dude. So Carolina was garbage. The Niners have already caught the injury bug. Kittle's down and Purdy's has shoulder and toe issues. That's too fucking early for the Niners to be falling apart. You know, I was surprised though because I thought the Jets improved their defense though. I was not.
Yeah, that was not the best showing. They played with aggression though, and they played with fire. So
they did. But I was thinking to myself, like, because y'all defense was legit. I was thinking, why did they get into a shootout like this? Like,
yeah,
I was not expecting the shootout.
Aaron Rodgers might not be as washed as people said. So, you know, he played very well. Both Fields and Rodgers played really well. So,
yeah. And I'll hand it to him because, Rodgers showed, like, I mean, he almost turned back the clock almost. But I was just like, no.
Yeah, it is what it is.
And kickers too. Kickers, I don't know what the problem is, but the kickers are becoming now, but must be are becoming more of a hot commodity because if your team has a good kicker, you need to hold on to that motherfucker because there's some poor kickers. Young Ku on the Falcons, he's probably gonna be out. This is probably his last season with that team, barring Unless the Falcons actually like make a real serious playoff run.
Because remember he was like a real hot prospect, and then he got out the league. Because he went viral for the little flip kick or whatever he did, and he got in the league and he kind of flopped. Then he found the spot, and he's been a top tier kicker, but yeah, you can't miss that kind of kick, bro. At home, he was at home, I think too, right? It was in Atlanta too.
Yeah, and then you got the Browns kicker too that needs to that probably should be getting cut. Kicking was overall just poor around the league. It was just bad. And Russell Wilson, the Giants will never get right. Like their front office is cursed. Like they want the ghost of the Russell Wilson, and they have Jameis Winston on there, and Jackson, and then they drafted a quarterback. And Wilson, I would have thought would have actually been better. Wilson looked terrible. Like, Daniel, like, it's almost making it to the point where I'm thinking to myself, well, goddamn, maybe it wasn't just Daniel Jones just stinking there. Maybe it's just everything about the Giants was just like terrible, and he just didn't have the experience to kind of overcome that. Russell Wilson played so fucking bad. I couldn't believe it. I was like, how you got sign all this someone like it, and you only managed 2 field goals in your first game? Like, nah, like honestly, Russell's not gonna last the season. Like, he's not. That was a really bad thing. And then the Bills and Ravens. Whew, I can't believe that we got a fight. We got the game of the year in week 1.
Hey, I'm just glad I got Lamar and Derrick Henry on my fantasy team.
Yeah, that shit was crazy.
That was unreal. Like I didn't say I had a feeling, but I was gonna leave, but I was like, let me just watch the rest of this game. You know what I mean? I was gonna get a quick grub to eat, and a good thing I didn't leave because that was a crazy.
Yeah, I was ready to go to bed too. I was like 4:25 because it was just like, these niggas are scoring at will. But something told me to actually stay on my fucking couch. I was ready to go to bed. I was like, yeah, I'm done with this game. Like, but someone told me this. And then. Josh Allen engineers a hell of a comeback. Like I've never seen the comeback like that. Like
that fumble. I mean, I know people are. I mean, I see some Raven fans say we got to get rid of Harbaugh. Lamar's never going to win in Baltimore with Harbaugh. But I mean,
you do.
Yeah. No, but I'm saying the Super Bowl. But I'm saying the fumble definitely shifted everything.
Yeah, it sucks too because Derrick Henry, like anyone who had his stat lines. That's almost like damn near player of the week type of shit. But that's what it's gonna be. That's all he's gonna be remembered for. He fumbled at the worst inopportune moment, and then you have some bad play calling, particularly not going for it on 4th down. The object is to keep the ball out of Buffalo's hands. And it was like 4th and 3.
But the thing is, you were if you fail, they're already in field goal range. That's the thing. It is conservative. I get it. But
you do that with some teams. For some teams that have the ability to kind of they actually move the ball down the field in a handful of plays. You got, which is what Buffalo can do. You go for it and you just wish for the best. Even if you have to burn some fucking clock or something. Like, just keep it out of their hands. That game was unbelievable. All the Ravens fans that I know, one of my day ones as a Ravens fan, he was heated. My homegirl's father, like a homegirl, she texted me the next morning talking about it's like the first thing her father said to her is like, do you know what those fuck niggas did the other night? Like he was spazzing to her this morning. She's like, I can't understand why he was so angry. Yeah, truthfully too, if the Eagles lost like how the Ravens lost, I'd be angry too. But all this does, unfortunately, is just kind of reinforces some of the things that people be saying about Lamar Jackson and the Ravens, even though the loss isn't on Lamar Jackson, but unfortunately, it's what you call added collateral to everything. So it's like, oh, Lamar, like he's a 2-time MVP, but he can't get over the hump to win the big one. And unfortunately, the Ravens have had too many of these type of losses under Harbaugh, so it's like it gets magnified. So it's like, you know, Lamar gets unfairly lumped into that. But that was a good fucking week one though. Like I like it was entertaining as fuck. Like, you know, most week ones are not like, you know, they're kind of like feeling out whatever, but there were some games in there. I was thoroughly entertained. And the fuck the Chiefs too. Yeah, I don't know what the fuck the Chiefs were doing. Like, I don't know what the niggas was doing in Brazil. Like, come on, like making Justin Herbert looking all world and shit like that. Like, the niggas busted my parlay mad early. I had to make some new ones because of that. Because the niggas had to. Wait, Pete, did you actually have the Chiefs losing on your parlay?
Yeah, but that was a different parlay. Like I made a bunch of them.
I had the Chargers on every one.
Honestly, I thought do it, but the Chiefs look bad. Like
Yeah,
it wasn't.
I had it on the jackpot part.
Chiefs are on that last leg, and I don't know if anybody else noticed, but do you see how on the first game of the season last year, Rashee Rice got injured by running into Patrick Mahomes, and then on this season, Xavier Worthy runs into fucking Travis Kelce, and now he's hurt. Shit's kind of crazy.
Yeah, and Kelce, I think Kelce is honestly. I mean, although he scored in that game and it was he's washed. Yeah. I think dude has 1 foot out the door. Like honestly, and I don't know why. I mean, truthfully, he doesn't leave football anymore. Like he's going to the Hall of Fame. He has his rings. He's marrying Taylor Swift. He's in Hollywood. He's he's in shows. He's in movies now. Like that dude. Yeah, I don't think football is he's not, he's washed. Like he's not in football. Like honestly, this should be the last season.
Nigga had a photo shoot looking like Razor Ramon and shit.
Right? that dude is not that dude's mind's not in football. Like he's old. Like I mean, so yeah, this is part. Yeah, the Chiefs are probably gonna go through a rebuild, and Detroit has kind of learned that their championship window is closed. Because they look fucking awful last on Sunday. They look fucking terrible. Yeah, like I mean, of course, that's what happens. They're both the OCs and the DCs. They're gone now. They have new ones, right?
I think maybe just offense.
Yeah. Well, yeah. Well, clearly, yeah, they have a new OC because their offense couldn't get into no type of fucking rhythm. They look bad. You know, so it. Yeah, and I know they're not injured, so I think it's just some. Yeah, I think the Lions will probably go back to being the Lions again. So the Bears competition, but y'all division though still it's going to be the Packers though. Packers are running that division for now, Rome. Your division. Yeah, I just.
No, I don't see it.
Yeah, they're going to be the team to knock off in the NFC North.
I don't see it. I mean, it's one game in the season. We're only 17th of the way done. Like, come on now.
I mean, the Packers pretty much. I mean, they're actually put together. Like, they're not declining, and they're not the Vikings. I mean, the Vikings. Well, what happened tonight's game was, I guess it's inconsequential, but the
Packers don't have no true receivers. Like, they got a whole bunch of no names over there. Like, I don't want to hear that.
But they're catching though. They're not dropping the balls, nigga. They're catching.
I like Dobbs, but I'm saying Jordan, and they have a good play caller, and I think Jordan Love is a legit, like, he's on like a Dak level top 10 quarterback in the league. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, but they have no name receivers, but then the receivers, they're catching these fucking balls. Like,
and
they're
Jordan
not.
Love he's top 10. He's like a new. Honestly, he's like Kirk Cousins, but he's
Stop
like
it.
right now in that level. He's better than your quarterback. I'm saying. I'm just saying.
Nah. Time will tell, nigga. Time will tell.
Well, yeah, no, it was a good week one though, and then looking forward to football, and of course this is gonna be if you're a gambling nigga like football and boxing this coming weekend, shit, yeah, if you're a gambling, try to get this money, man. Like I said, it's out there. Like my two apps gotta get some work next weekend. But yeah, no, we're about to get up out of here. Unfortunately, LB, I know LB wanted to definitely give his thoughts on this, but he had hate in his heart. He was ready to spread this hate about everything, But I guess I'm knowing him. He'll probably go online. He might go dolo maybe tomorrow or Wednesday and share his thoughts there or whatever. Who knows? One of us may actually go live with him. We'll see how it goes, though. But yeah, for myself, Pat Scorpio, New England representative, for Conscious Pilot, for Rome Top 5, and for King P, who had to get up out of there. This has been another wonderful episode of Real Talk, where as always, if shit's real, we talk about it. So until next time, peace.